I want to chat with you all just a little bit about a topic that we have not discussed just yet. And that topic has to do with our response as it pertains to situations and circumstances when our teens have yet to make a wise decision. So something has happened, they've made an unwise decision, and so what is our response to that? I want to ask you all, so are you emotionally warm and open-minded when your teen makes an unwise decision? Now, I know we've gone through the problem-solving steps and how we can go about helping our teens with that. So, in the event they present a problem to us, then we know that the next step after them describing the problem is for us to then help them. And then they telling us, and then us exploring more of the different options that they can consider as it pertains to the problem that they've articulated to us. So they brought a problem to us. Of course, we're exploring different types of options. We're comparing and contrasting what the consequences look like regarding the options that they've shared with us. Thereafter, we are allowing them to choose. Of course, we can explore with them the different options that that are being considered, but we're allowing them to choose. Yet, do we want to fix it? Yes, absolutely. Like whatever our teens bring to us, we want to fix it like yesterday. But by all intents and purposes, one of the ways that we're able to help them to start solving their own problems is if we let them fix it, and if we let them choose. And then thereafter, when we talk about that problem-solving sequence or the different steps of problem-solving, then of course we are allowing them to take action after they've chosen the solution to their problem, and then we're following up with them. Those are the different steps, of course, to problem-solving. And then we're assessing with them, was that a good decision? Was that not a good decision? Should another decision have been made? We're talking them through that because, of course, this is a life lesson that they're learning and that we're teaching them. So it's essential that we go through those steps with them as opposed to fixing every single thing that they're asking us to fix. So with that being said, if we are going through those steps, then tell me, so what is our response if in fact they have made an unwise decision? So, and it looks as though I'm on Instagram and of course Facebook, and it looks as though, of course, the Instagram may be blinking on and off just a bit, but by all intents and purposes, so I am curious to know, again, are you and am I emotionally warm? And am I open, of course, minded as it pertains to the different, and I'm going to come off of Instagram and then I'm going to go back on. So if you'll just give me just a second, that would be awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. I'm slipping on, and now I'm slipping off, and then slipping right back on. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. So, with that being said, I want to talk about what the types of things that I have seen mothers do, including myself. I'm just going to include myself in there. When our teens have made unwise decisions. The first thing I've seen us mothers do, is that we have a way of disconnecting from our teen. We're angry, we're upset, then we disconnect. And so when we disconnect, then it's interesting because we create this distance between us and them. And when we create that distance, are we really able to lead and guide them because we're angry and it's taken us a while because we're upset and we may have thrown a temper tantrum? Because let's be honest, some of us, we're kids in adult bodies, and so we're losing out on time. And they will remain misguided because we've created this distance, because we're no longer talking, we're given silent treatment. because we're in a stage after our teens have made unwise decisions. We're in a stage whereas we're angry, and so we've created that distance. And so I would encourage us mothers that when our teens have made unwise decisions, that we remain close so that we can continue to lead and guide them to make good decisions. That's very, very important. And so also, secondly, the second thing we need to do when our teens have made unwise decisions is that we need to make sure that we're involved and that we're close, because when we're involved and close, even after they have made an unwise decision, then guess what? It helps us to continue to build. It helps us to allow them to continue to trust us, so that as they are going through whatever it is that they're going through, then they're trusting us because we're still on talking terms with them. And they're able to come to us and they're able to share with us why they may have made the unwise decision that they made. And then we can move in and we can continue to guide them. And then what kind of, vibes are we giving off? Sometimes when our teens make unwise decisions, then they're able to pick up on our vibes. And that may help them to stay away. And then they remain misguided when in essence, what we want to do is we want to help them to build that trust, and we want them to feel comfortable with us. It may be a matter of them, needing to apologize even to us, because they may have embarrassed the family, or they may have the reputation, of course, may have gone south. And so there needs to be meaningful dialogue between us and our team. So I would encourage us, of course, number one, first and foremost, to allow there to not be a distance, number one. And then secondly, let's remain close. And then also, I want to encourage us because when we build that structure, we have this family structure, whereas they're clear about expectations, we're clear about expectations. There's some boundaries, of course myself, I have 3 daughters, and one of them have already, she's living on her own, another one, she's still in the home, but there's a structure around the living arrangements. I mean, we still want to make sure that we're doing chores and we're keeping the house clean, and there's a when you leave, at least let us know. If anything happens, we want to at least be able to tell law enforcement, God forbid we ever have to tell them anything or they ever have to come to the house, but we want to make sure that we're clear about, for the most part, not everything, but the most part, the comings and the goings. So that structure is critical. So if they're making unwise decisions, then of course we're clear about the structure that's in place, and then they're reminded, of what needs to happen when. And so that cuts down and that lessens, of course, the unwise decision making. And then, emotions are managed, and then less people are offended because, of course, people know their responsibilities and they fulfill their responsibilities, especially in the family, within the family dynamics, if you will. Okay, so listen, just a couple of things more. What can we do? What can we do to make sure that our teens are making wise decisions? We already talked about the don'ts if they're making unwise decisions, but what about the do's? And some of us, we can have teens who have not yet left the home, but then also some of us, we have teens who have left the home as well. And so first and foremost, what can we do? What can we do is we can model a purposeful lifestyle. When we model a purposeful lifestyle, even if our teens are they're adults and they're out of the home, it's still good to even model then. Before we leave the house, listen, myself and my family, we are praying before we leave out of that front door. Listen, we don't know what's on the other side of that front door, so we're standing right there in the dining room or the living room or upstairs in the informal living room, or maybe even in one of the bedrooms, and we're holding hands and we are praying for God's protection and that He allow us to be wise in our decision making, even as adults, and that He just he just continues to love up on us, and that we're confirming our trust in Him. And so listen, it wouldn't even be a bad idea for Facebook, and then also on Instagram to consider praying before we leave the house each and every day. And then also, as it relates to our teens, whether they're teens before leaving the house or they're already out of the house, it'd be good, with them to just explore, different opportunities, different adventures, that helps to still lead, guide, and direct their thought processes. Maybe it's time for them to develop a new skill, or maybe it's time for them to pursue their dreams, a dream that they have already always had and have yet to pursue them. It may be a good idea for them to to consider, their values and their belief system, and solidify that in their imagery, so they're able to make that. Helps with wise decision making. So, of course, model a purposeful lifestyle. Of course, make sure that we're exploring different opportunities with our teens, whether they're young adults or fully grown adults. And then also, listen, this is what has helped me the most, is volunteering and teaching and modeling even that volunteer lifestyle. At my church, Sugarland Baptist Church, years ago, I led the homeless ministry. So there would be about 25 or 30 of us going downtown up under the Pierce Elevated in Houston, Texas. And I say the city where I'm speaking from, because I know that a number of you all you tune in from Australia and Canada and all Atlanta and all throughout these United States. But that's what we did years ago, and I was able to introduce just volunteering to my daughters, who were young at the time, and we would just love up on the homeless, and we would feed them, and we would take snack packs. And then there's an Asian church that's affiliated with ours that meets upstairs, and so even they heard that we were doing this, and they said, well, you know what, we want to participate as well, and we want to make some Chinese food. And so I think they made some big pans of shrimp fried rice and chicken fried rice, and then it became even bigger than I had anticipated. And we then gathered clothing, and as we gathered those clothing, my neighbors, they had circular racks, whereas these clothing, we were able to, while we were downtown, we were able to hang these clothes up, and so that the homeless, they can come to where we were and they can shop. So they were shopping, they were eating, we had tracts, so we were praying with them, and it was just a phenomenal event that I will never forget. We took pictures, and it was just absolutely amazing, and a memory that I will always have until my very end. And so I want to encourage you, emerging mothers, to participate in some type of volunteer opportunity, so that your teens are able to keep in mind and they're able to embrace the whole idea of making wise decisions as they're moving forward. Again, whether they have left the home already or whether they're already out of the home. So I want to share this, and then I will let you all go. I just will not hold you forever and ever. But please know I'm on live, of course, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. just to toss some tips and drop some gems as it pertains to teens leaving the home and making sure that we're okay emotionally. That's what we do. We support mothers with anxiety as it relates to teens transitioning out of the home after high school, whether they're heading off to the college campus, the military base, or simply residential independence. This is the type of support that we provide, because even myself in 2016, I had a very, very difficult time handling, I never knew that I had any issues with anxiety, and I really don't. But in 2016, when my teen left home, it was like, oh my goodness, I had prepared my teen, but did I prepare myself? Absolutely not. I had not prepared myself. And so I want to read this for you all, because it talks about the parent-child connectivity. It says parent-child connectedness is associated with a wide range of health indicators. Close, positive family relationships that feature open communication help young people stay healthy and avoid substance use. poor psychological health, risky sexual behaviors, and violent relationships. And so we want to make sure that we're demonstrating a positive atmosphere as it pertains to our teens. Listen, I love you all so very much. I appreciate you all, and I will see you all next Thursday, if you will. Same place, same time, live on Instagram and also Facebook. Take care of yourselves. Again, love you tons. Be safe. And of course, if there are any questions, you can hit me in the DMs, and I'll be more than happy to help. Take care. See you soon. Bye.